And hello again, and here we are in the front of my garage on a nice sunny day. It's now the 1st of May, sun's out, can't complain about that. And it's going to be a very short intro video because I've got a couple of clips to show you in the main part of the video. And the first one is a very short video, as I say, taken the other day at Jeff's workshop, where I took this. This is the BMW R90S cockpit fairing that I might fit on my Z650 1170 project. I took it along just to see how it might look on the front end. Now, we don't have the bike, it's all in bits, but we do have the forks and the yokes and the front wheel and so on. So I took it along there and we just tried it out, and I must say it looked pretty good. But it was only when I got back and I reviewed that video that I realised that I'd had this cockpit fairing far too high on the forks, because I had it whereby this lower part was above the lower yoke and it should be below the lower yoke, but never mind, it should be sorted out. I've also realised, having gone into a bit more detail about how these things are mounted on a standard BMW, that this fairing here is lacking an important addition. And it's no wonder, because, as I say, this is like £100 odd, whereas a standard BMW copy fairing is, God, 300 plus. You buy it with all the mounting hardware, which I didn't want. And what's missing is, here on the inside, the standard version has a mount here and a mount here, which are sort of embedded, or I don't know how it's done, but it's certainly glassed into the inside of this fairing here. And those mounts are made to carry a rod back to a clamp on the forks, which helps support the fairing, which obviously we don't have. So, lesson learned. What we'll do next is we'll make a couple of those mounts with a nice wide foot, and we'll fiberglass it in to the inside of the fairing. So what I don't want to do is drill holes all the way through it and ruin the look. So we'll do that anyway. Lesson learned. Yeah, so that's the first part of this video, when we're going to see how it looks on the front end. But before we go, I've just had another parcel arrive today, which is down here, and there it is. Just taking it out of its wrapping, and what it is nothing too exciting, but it's a cam cover. It's a cam cover made to fit a Z1000 Kawasaki from 77 to 79, which happens to be what I need for my Z1400 project, as that engine's about to be built up. Might take a while, but we'll get there in the end. And because we're building it up from a whole range of parts, the engine's based upon an old engine I had in a turbo bike some time ago, without the turbo of course, but for some reason the cam cover went AWOL. I don't know where it went, so I had to buy a new one. This actually isn't bad. It came from D&K, who are a big importers of spare parts and bikes and so on in Stoke-on-Trent, and yeah, pretty happy with it. And it was £60 including P&P, which is pretty good. It's okay, it's just got a little scratch there, which isn't too bad, because I did look at some of them, and you've got to check very carefully, and one or two or so had cracks in, had damaged mounts, and had cracks around the bolt holes, all that kind of stuff, and you've got to watch out for that. It's sometimes quite difficult to see because they're also dirty and oily, but this one's actually not bad at all. Yeah, pretty good. And by the way, D&K, as I say, in Stoke-on-Trent, they're quite a big company actually for the UK, and they also own the exhaust manufacturer called Delkovic. So if you wonder why Delkovic is called Delkovic, it's because it's the D and the K of the two owners. I think it's something like, I don't know, Dave and Kevin or something, I don't know, or Dave and Keith, the two main owners. Yeah, so that's pretty good. That'll have to go off now to be powder coated in satin black to match the rest of the engine, because as we mentioned later on in this video, the crankcases and block and so on have all gone off to Triple S in Yorkshire to be powder coated in satin black. Now, as we also mentioned later on, the Z650 stroke 1170 engine is not powder coated, it's actually ceramically coated, and there are reasons for that, which we'll go into when we go and talk about the engine later on in this video, so we won't cover it just now. So I'll put that away for future reference, and yeah, so we'll kick off and we'll jump over to a video I took, I think it was 2 days ago, at Jeff's workshop, because he hasn't really done much recently because he's been busy rebuilding his shed. His old shed that's in his garden is falling apart, so he's having to rebuild that. Anyway, so we'll kick off and we'll jump over there, and here we go. Right, Jeff, here we are, squeezed in your little narrow aisle, and what we've got here is the R6 front end with your yokes, and this is for the, of course, for the Z650 1170 project, and you're now holding that BMW R90S fairing just to see if it fits. What we're trying to do is sort of mimic how it would look on the bike. So obviously the forks will be tilted, and the top of the fairing there will be parallel with the ground ish.
It's in the ballpark.
Yeah. So let me just move the camera, and if you spin it round for me, Jeff, we can see a bit more of it. Now we haven't got the headlamp on yet, or the mounts yet, but that's kind of how it'll look. I've got the tinted screen here, but I'm not going to fit it yet because it'll just get scratched and whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And what was the first thing you said when you saw that headlamp fairing? You said
Mad Max.
Mad Max, which is what we want. That's what we want. Of course, it won't be black, but it'll be close to black. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. It fits. We don't have to do any modifications to the lower part of the fairing because it goes on the fork, which is good. It might not do because obviously those forks are a lot thicker and the yokes are slightly wider than a standard BMW.
Yeah, a fraction wider, yeah.
Yeah, but not too much. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. So with that can go back in the box and we can move on to something else. And now we'll move on to the main part of the video when I went to see Les at his workshop yesterday, where we went through our various projects, both his and mine, to see how things are going. So that's what's next, and here it is. Right then, here we are then, Les, in your workshop again. This is just a very quick catch up on what's going on with your Untitled Jet dragster project.
Dragster, yes.
And I see you've got your front swing arm.
Front swinging arms
thing, it's been powder coated
now.
Silver, looks very nice.
There it is.
Yeah.
All powder coated. Very nice job.
Yeah. And
that's ready to go back in.
Yeah. And in terms of brakes, were you getting something done with a Brembo brake?
I was supposed to be modifying a rear Brembo that you supplied.
Yes.
For me to use to set up.
Yeah.
I've now found that there's a company that does a proper billet caliper that will bolt straight on with no modifications.
Okay, and where's that from? Is that Italian?
No, it's I think it's probably made in China, but it's sold by a company called P&M Racing, P&M Tuning, up in Morecambe. They do scooter tuning.
Don't know anything about that.
So anyway, I can buy a caliper ready.
Just go on, yeah.
Just ready to bolt on, yeah.
Saves some hassle, doesn't it?
Yeah, saves a lot of hassle.
And then I was just looking over here. We come to the back of the bike. You've now got your wheels back.
Yeah, I've got the wheels back.
Triple S, looking very nice in gold.
Gold wheels.
And didn't you say the tyres come from Germany or something? You just picked them up?
Yeah, the tyres I've ordered from Germany.
Yeah.
So that arrived this morning.
Why did you get them from Germany? Were they some odd size?
Well, they are German made, Heidenau.
Yeah.
And I've tried to get them in the UK, and there's no one selling them over here.
So import them. So
I've got them direct from Germany.
Okay.
This is the latest tyre that they do. It's very sticky compound.
Yeah. Okay.
So it should handle pretty well.
And what size is that?
That's an 11-inch.
Yeah.
For the front wheel.
Yeah.
And I've ordered a 13-inch for the rear wheel.
Yeah.
That's not arrived yet.
All right. Okay.
So.
And they've been powder coated gold.
Powder coated gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking very nice.
So.
And you were saying there was a problem with the powder coating because when they first did it, they weren't happy with the finish.
I wanted a candy gold finish.
Yeah. And they did it, and then they decided themselves.
They did it, and without even asking me, they thought, well, this doesn't look good. We'll redo them. So they've redone them in a metallic gold. Yeah. Which is still nice.
Yeah. So you probably think you might have preferred whatever colour it was.
Well, I didn't get to see it, so we'll never know.
Never know. Never know.
No, we'll never know.
Okay. So
I trust their judgment.
Oh yeah. If
they said it didn't look good, then obviously they were right.
Yeah. Now, lots of people ask me these questions, so I'll ask you now, into the powder coating, how much does it cost to get, say, those wheels powder coated in gold? But that said, I do know that those sort of metallics do cost more than a standard glossy.
Yeah, the standard flat colour is the cheapest.
Yes.
Then they do metallics, which is a 2-stage process.
Yeah.
So it's obviously dearer.
Yeah, I believe when they do it to the first coat of colour, it comes out quite dull.
Yes.
And then they've got to put another clear coat on top.
It's like a clear coat on top, and whether that holds the metallic particles, I don't know.
I don't know.
But,
So go on then. How much does it cost to get those two done?
Like I say, they didn't. In the end, they've done metallic gold rather than the candy.
Yes.
And
it's nice though.
These were £100.
The pair.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And how much for the silver?
The swinging arm on the front was £58, I think, plus the dreaded VAT.
Yeah.
And it's a a metallic silver.
Metallic silver. Oh,
very fine metallic, but it's nice.
Oh, it's nice, yeah.
It's
and actually, what really makes the difference in terms of cost is how much time it takes for them to tape it all up and protect the bits you don't want to get powder coated.
Yeah, obviously they have to mask up certain areas.
Yes, yeah, that's why doing the cases is quite expensive.
Cases are going to be the most expensive because of the amount of masking up.
To masking up,
yeah.
That's the thing. So, yeah, because I mean, a frame's only about 150 quid, isn't it? Something like that, or...
Yeah, about that.
Hang on, you can now. Yeah. Yeah, so that's that.
When I go and pick up your parts for your 1170 engine on Monday,
yes,
I will pick up the cable at the
That's the important bit, yeah. You're going to get the rubbers for the mount the carbs and also the full ignition system, the coils and the...
Coils on the pickups.
And the pickups,
Yeah,
that's great.
So that's for next Monday.
That's next Monday. Today's Friday. What else has been going on? Yes, the frame for my Z650/1170 is now gone off to Triple S. You took it there when you went to pick up your wheels and so on. I tend to make it worth me while when I go over to Yorkshire. That's better.
When I pick stuff up, I take stuff and drop it off.
Yeah.
Just, so when I went to pick my wheels and my swinging arm up that you just filmed, I dropped off your frame. Yeah. Your engine cases.
Yes. Now those engine cases is not for that bike. It's for the Mark II.
Yeah, the 1400.
14, engine. Yeah, because the 1170 got a ceramic finish. Yes. Which is nice and it's very hard wearing apparently. Yes. But it is very thin, which is good in some ways and bad in other ways. And the bad way is it doesn't cover any marks. You can see all the snail trails in the casting. Yes. Any imperfections in the casting are shown. The powder coating is very much thicker. It fills. It fills a lot. Gives a smoother finish. Yeah, it does. So I'm having that engine done in satin black. Yeah. So that should be very soon. What else has been going on with that particular bike? Oh yes. About a month ago, I took the seat base for the Z650 to local upholsterer. Right. So, yeah, I'm dead busy. Be about a month. That was a month ago. I'm glad you've mentioned the upholstery. Have you not got it back yet? No, I called up this morning and said, hey, a month's gone by, what's going on? I said, look mate, I'm dead busy, not started yet, it'll be ready for sure in 2 weeks' time. I have someone I know who's recently asked me about upholsterers. Yes. And I've said I've got a friend who's waiting for 2 seats to come back. Yes. And as soon as they're back, we can weigh up how good a job it is. Yeah, I'm hopeful. And then I can recommend. Fingers crossed it's going to be okay, because I've got other things that need doing as well. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully in 2 weeks' time we'll find out. Have you filmed the Mark II with the front end in it? No, probably not. So yeah, we'll do that now. We'll do that now. Just pop next door. I can see in the background there's my cup going cold, so I need to go and get me a cup of tea. Drink your tea. Aye. Right, yeah, so here we are, back in your proper workshop. I won't say proper, your nice warm workshop. This is the warm workshop, the clean room as I The clean room, yeah. And here we've got your illuminator, which is now coming back together again. Slowly. Yeah, slowly. You've had the frame powder coated, again by Triple S. You've got the front end on, looking very nice. And you're slowly... I'm slowly getting there. Yeah. I'm just going to fit it in around your customers' work. Yeah. And we've had a bit of a change around because the monster used to be in the corner, that's now out. Yes. I guess it's going to get used soon as well. Well, it's going to go for an MOT soon. Yes, yeah. And then in the corner in its place is the RD250 D. Yes, yeah. That's pretty much finished now. The restoration's finished. It just needs the bodywork. Paintwork, which again is expensive, I guess. Yeah. And Mark's very busy, so that. Yes, that's right. Yeah. 6 months down the road. Oh no, I know. Yeah. Well, I guess anybody who's any good and is kind of not too expensive is always going to be busy, aren't they? Yeah. Whether it's upholstery or paintwork or whatever. Yeah. I always get people shocked when they ring me and ask me to do a job for them, and I'm booked up for 4 or 5 weeks. And What? Yeah, because you're busy. Well, if you're any good, you will be busy. You will be busy. Yeah. Anyway, over here, I'm just here to see the Mark II, my project. You got the front end on now with the brand new Tarosi stanchions. Yeah, brand new stanchions and the wheels in. Yeah, and we've got the adjusters back in. The damn adjusters. That was a bit of a delicate situation, but it's all done now. Just wanted that tap to clean that thread and it went straight in. Good. And so the plan was that this rolling chassis is going to come home to me at some point, which will free up some space for you. One problem I've got though is that I've got no space to build the 1170. Well, I have, but not if that's there as well. So, well, that can stay there. It's not in my way. Well, I was thinking more like I could take that away and leave it in a corner, and then the 1170 can stay here and get built up here, and I'll pay you for it. The reason being that because once that engine is in the frame, it'll come together quick. It's going to be very difficult for me to move it. Well, I did think that it'd be easier. I mean, you just
you know.
Yeah, we agreed
come to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
I thought, well, if I pick the frame up from Triple S,
yes,
I can bring it here, get that down on the car on a nice clean carpet, and lower the frame onto it.
Yes,
and then it's easier to lift the frame with the engine in.
That's right.
Into my van.
That's right. Because that engine's quite heavy. It's what, £210, and
yeah,
I've got a bad back, and I don't feel like lugging that around. And the thing is, once it's in the frame, you then really need 2 people to move it around, because what you don't want to do is lug it around and scratch it and risk.
It's easier to lift it with it in a frame.
Yeah. Although that said, the engine brackets we've made in billet, and the polishing.
Well, that was my next question to you.
Yes.
Obviously, if I'm going to put the engine in the frame, I'll need all the hardware.
You do. Well, all the hardware's with your Jeff right now.
Right. Okay.
So there was some debate about whether the billet brackets that hold it in place should be anodised, powder coated, polished, machined.
Is it going to see the rain?
No.
Well, there you go.
I just asked him a while ago, I said, look, can you just polish it for me? And he's not done it yet, he's been busy.
Well, why have polished billet covers and then anodised other bits?
Precisely.
So you have it all the same?
Yes, yeah. So I said, well, look, give it here, Jeff, and I'll take it home, I'll do it all by hand. I'll polish it. Oh, no, I said, no, I'll do it on the polishing machine he's got there, so okay. But when that'll be done, I don't know, but hopefully by the time the frame comes back, it'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we can hopefully get it all together, and then it'll be a engine in a frame, hopefully.
And how are we getting on with the forks, ropes, wheels, to build it up into a rolling chassis?
Well,
the swinging arm's done in black.
Yes.
That's already done.
Yes.
The back wheel's done.
Yes.
There's the brake caliper and the bracket done.
Bracket, yeah.
That's your caliper, by the way, that you lent me down there.
The only thing is, I'm going to change my ideas, because that's a gold caliper.
Yeah.
But the front calipers on that bike are from the R6.
Black and blue spots.
Black and blue. And having a black and blue front calipers and a gold back caliper.
Well, you could have black and gold on the front.
I could do, but what I've also got is, I've got a black version of that. That fit. But I bought it for that reason. Well, it would have been, except the mat's slightly different.
Which means making another bracket.
Got to make another bracket. The good news is, though, that perhaps that caliper could go on that one. You know, if I'm going to get gold Brembos on the front, I can fit that on the back or something.
I don't know if you know this. You've got the Yamaha calipers that have got the blue spots.
Yes.
Anodised sensors.
Yes.
And then you've got the ones with the gold.
Yes.
And I was told, I'm pretty sure
the golds are high spec, aren't they?
They're one piece. They're both one piece. The ones with the blue anodised sensors have got steel brake pistons.
That's right. And the
ones with the gold have got aluminium, which are anodised.
I think the gold ones were fitted to the SP version of whatever bike.
So, and I've physically had these Tokiko calipers, for instance. They have steel pistons and they're quite heavy. There's I think the Hayabusa runs the same caliper,
right? But
the pistons are aluminium, and there's a noticeable difference in weight.
Yeah. So by chance, actually, I've got the identical caliper on my Harley, except it's fully polished.
But it's all about getting the unsprung weight down, so it handles better.
Yeah. So there's some changes there. The front end's ready to go.
Yeah.
Space. In fact, we had a bit of a panic because your Jeff couldn't find the wheel spindle, and he should have had it. And it turns out it's at my house, so I've got it back, and I've got to take it.
There is another question as well.
Yes.
Forks are ready to go. They're in perfect condition. But the oil in them is unknown age.
Yes, it'll be changed.
So we need to change the fork oil, very minimum.
I also need to paint the lowers as well. The lowers are silver right now.
Yeah.
And you think, well, could polish them maybe, but they're actually like a rough cast.
Well, why don't we pull the forks apart, refurb them, and I'll get them powder coated?
Yeah. Just like them.
Yeah, same as them.
It's going to be black. Yeah. So they're ready to go.
Don't do half a job.
I was going through a whole series of options for the front mudguard, trying to find one, and I've bought a front mudguard.
Yeah. I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah. And so hopefully that'll go on. That can be fitted whenever.
I saw it this morning when I called at Jeff's.
What you haven't seen yet, though, is what I've got for the front end as well.
Go on.
Which I've got well, you might have seen it, the BMW R90S fairing.
No.
Yes. So.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, you mentioned it in one of your videos.
It was in a big box, yeah. So I took it down to your Jess the other day. We just tried it out, just to see what it would look like. It looked good. And one good thing was your Jeff's. The one thing he said to me straight away was, "Oh, it's a bit like Mad Max, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah, it is," which is great, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
So that might have to go on. It's got quite a complicated mount for it, so then that needs to be machined up and fitted. But
this is going to be a toe cutter replica, is it?
Not quite. Not quite. I was tempted actually, because you can buy the bloody standard toe cutter style fairing from America.
You know, Australia.
No, it comes to America though.
Ah, right.
It might have started in Australia, but
Yeah, all the original fairings were Australian,
yes,
of course.
All of the bits you can get, the seat unit, whatever, you can get from America.
Yeah, I know Dave Marsden had a replica of Goosey's bike.
That's right, yeah.
The police bike, MFB.
Well, actually, they're the same bike. It's the same bike.
Was that the actual bike from the film?
No, the silver bike and the black bike in the film
Yeah.
are actually the same fairings. And
Oh, sorry, yeah.
they look completely different because
Yeah.
it's all silver and black,
Yeah.
but in fact they're the same.
They're the same, yeah.
There's actually a nice video on YouTube of the designer and the bike builder for that film that you can watch.
I've not seen that.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Apparently they managed to get 10 brand new Kawasaki's off Kawasaki Australia.
Yeah.
And they were somewhat aggrieved when they got 2 back because the other 8 was just destroyed, you know. Which is no wonder.
Free advertising for them. What they moaning
at the time they probably weren't too impressed.
How many Kawasaki's did they sell off the back of that film?
I guess they sold an awful lot. Of
course they did.
Yeah. So that's that.
I was one of them.
The only thing I've got to do for the back end is I needed to get the frame. What we haven't got yet is the spacers made for the rear wheel and the rear wheel spindle.
Right.
Because obviously you need to have the two together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But that shouldn't be a big deal. Measure that. We can get that made up. Apart from that, yeah, that's it then. It should be a roller quite quickly. Yeah, so we can take that one home, put it in a corner, and then we'll give you some
space. As you can see from the layout of this garage,
yeah.
What I tend to do is drag everything out from underneath, swing the ramp round, and then wheel it off the ramp on a
if I spin round, the door is behind me.
Yeah.
The door's there, yeah.
So I have done it on my own, but it's awkward.
It's awkward, yeah. And you run a risk it could fall over and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yes,
so that's a bit of a quick look at what's going on. And then obviously when that engine's gone, you've now got lots of spare room on that workbench over there to start the engine for the Mark II.
Yeah.
For which we'll need a welded crank.
I've also
got
the engine for the eliminator to build.
Oh yes. Oh, I forgot about that.
Of which you can see here.
Yes, it's waiting to go.
It's all in shot here.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just putting the conrod on the crank and using plastic gauge to check the shell clearances.
Yeah.
So I've done that just before you arrived.
Well, no doubt that'll all be done by the time we're ready to go with the Mark II. I mean, we've got to get the crank welded. Got to get a crank built up.
Yeah. All the crank components are under this bench here somewhere.
Yeah.
They're all under there.
Yeah.
And you've also got a complete crank for a Mark II.
Yes.
Completely standard one, which can go in the 1000 engine.
Yes, that's right.
So you'll end up with two complete engines.
I know. What I want to do actually is try and find a Mark II frame and chassis, a rough one maybe, with a logbook. We'll build up a more standard bike, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got no more space, so I'll think
Mark IIs are getting really sought after.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the last video I made about the Mark II, I had a guy comment saying, "Oh, you must get rid of that horrible, ugly swing arm and put a standard one back on and blah, blah, blah. It's the most perfect bike ever made. It's a beautiful bike." I said, yeah, I agree with you, mate, but we didn't start off with a standard beautiful bike. We started off with a chassis and that's it.
I don't even know where the original swinging arm went off this.
Yeah. So if we did have a beautiful standard, if we had a standard bike to play with or a standard bike to restore, we'd do that, but we didn't. We had, well, a mismatch of different bikes and bits.
I did consider building a standard Mark II.
Yes.
From all the bits left over from this supercharged bike.
Yes, because that is a Mark II as well.
Well, originally,
I was once a Mark II a long time ago.
All the bodywork's now on that.
Yes.
Well, you've got it now.
Yes, it's going to be on that. Yeah. But thing is, though, it's a Mark II. It's a 1989-79 model
79,
with marginal suspension, marginal brakes, marginal chassis, basically.
So basically, you're improving it.
You are improving it.
You're keeping the look of a 70s bike,
yeah,
but you're running modern brakes, modern suspension, modern tyres.
Yeah.
And they'll just ride so much better and handle so much better.
I probably don't ride as fast as I once did, but on the road, those sort of bikes, if you push them, if you're doing like 900 mile an hour into a bumpy bend, it starts to weave, it starts to wobble, it starts to
throw you off.
And if you want to brake hard on them, dubious brakes that you used to have back then, they were good for the day, but they're not exactly twin pot Brembos and stuff like that. So, you want something safe.
I'm not in the original bike camp.
No, the Kawasaki's Owners Club is full of standard bikes, and they're great. But I don't want to stand to one. I want to modify one. I want to ride the damn thing and have some fun on it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's that. So that's where things are at the moment. And that's about it. I'll tell you what I can do. I can take home that 2/4 seat, get it out of your way, because I'll have that in the back of the car when I go and pick up my seat.
This seat here is the RD seat.
Yeah, not that one.
Yours is that.
Yeah, that one
Giuliani.
there.
How do you pronounce it?
It's Italian, no idea.
It's a,
Giuliani.
Yes, it's
Giuliani,
this one, which is the fiberglass base.
Yes.
Which is in solid condition.
Yeah. And what I might do is if the upholsterer does a good job, which I think he will.
Yeah. So they have the model of the bike.
I might get it to reupholstered in something a bit more appropriate. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, this came off a standard frame and it fitted well.
Yeah. So it's not. I won't actually use it probably on that bike because I'm not going to buy a brand new one. You can get it for like 245 quid.
Yeah.
From Z Power, but that would be an option for another day.
It's great if you've got a female pillion because it's quite short there.
Yeah.
So it pushes the
Well,
female.
it depends who the female is, I guess.
I had fun back in the day.
I bet you did. Right, well, on that note, I better go home and feed the dog, and we'll come back in a few weeks' time and see how things are getting on.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and cheers.
Cheers.